I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 51 to 49. It's 51 to 49. Huh? Okay. Is it good? So President Trump signed when he signed the papers after he was notified that Kash Patel was had won in the Senate. He was confirmed in the Senate, and I can only imagine right now what these liberals are doing, how they're scrambling around. But like I said, we're going to open up the phone line. We're going to open up the phone line. Can we put the phone number down here at the lower third so people can get the number? So I want to hear what you think. First thing that I did after Kash Patel was confirmed in the Senate, of course, I went over on X and I put a comment on X. I said, "Who would you like to see on Kash Patel's deep state list first? Who would you like to see for him to go after?" Right, basically. And the Democrats, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, he has a what do they call it? An enemies list." No, it's not an enemies list. Now, if you really want to think about it, these Democrats, they have been enemy of the people. They really have. Look at all the damage that they've done to the American people. Look at everything that they've been doing the last, especially the last 4 years. Well, even before then, because they were doing it to President Trump when he was still in office. Back in even 2016, they were doing it then. But even before then, if you really think about it, but it really started showing itself when President Trump went into office because they didn't want him there in the first place. But after Kash Patel won 51 to 49 and didn't even have to get JD Vance to do the vote. JD Vance didn't have to be the tiebreaker for it. Interesting. But there were two Republicans, one from Maine and one from Alaska. And they're Republicans, which they call themselves Republicans, but they're straight up rhinos. There's two ladies, one from Alaska and one from Maine, like I said. And they did not vote for Kash Patel because they didn't want Kash Patel to come in and change the FBI. And today, I'm assuming today he's going to be sworn in. I'm assuming today he's going to be sworn in. And I still want to know who's going to be on his, first, what's his first order of business? What is he going to do? And I'd like for you to give me a call. Do you think he should follow through and shut down the FBI building and turn it into a deep state museum? Now, personally, I don't think he's going to do it. I think it was just like a talking point. But if he did, if he were to go ahead and do it, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. It would be pretty awesome. I would want to go to that museum most definitely and check it out. You see so many people in there. You see Hillary Clinton in there. You see Billy Clinton in there. You will see Obama in there. You'll see Chuck Schumer in there. You see Jerry Nadler in there. You see Nancy Pelosi in there. You'll have Adam Schiff in there. And Adam Schiff, he is the biggest one right now after screaming, kicking and screaming that Kash Patel was confirmed. He act like he's scared of something. What do you think Adam Schiff could possibly be scared of? You can always give me a call and tell me what you think. But for some reason, he's highly terrified of Kash Patel. I mean, he's really scared. He's like, nope, this should have never happened. And personally, I think what Adam Schiff is doing right now, he's trying to go onto the floor and say that people, the Republicans, are going to regret the day that they confirmed Kash Patel. And the reason why I think that he's doing all of this and going on to the talk shows is because if Kash Patel, and I'm hoping that Kash Patel does his job and look in and expose all of the criminal activity that Adam Schiff was a part of. Once Kash Patel does that, Adam Schiff is going to run out there again and say, oh, see, look, he's weaponized the FBI against people in the government. This is exactly, I told you he was going to do this. But he's never going to mention, talking about Adam Schiff, he's never going to mention all the criminal stuff that he's done. He's never going to mention it. And let me put it this way. If I go before the judge, or if the FBI come talk to me, and I lie to them, what is that considered? That's considered a criminal act. They'll put you in jail for lying to the FBI. It's happened to many people. They'll put you in jail. So when these politicians are up on Capitol Hill and they blatantly lie to the American people, they should be held responsible for those lies when they blatantly lie. Now, it's one thing if you're reporting on something or if you say something that, someone told you and you kind of put it out there and you're like, okay, you know what? I was fed bad intel. I get that. I get that. Because we live in a world right now with information overload. We get a lot of information flying everywhere, right? I get that. But when he knew the truth, he went into the skiff, he went into the committee, and he was able to get the actual truth. And then he turns right around and goes out and lied to the public. There should be consequences for that. Same thing what he did when he was lying about the transcript, talking about Adam Schiff still. Remember, he was reading a transcript of President Trump, his phone call to Zelensky. Oh, you got the same Zelensky right now that's trying to undermine President Trump. It's not going to work, but Adam Schiff was reading the transcript, and then come to find out Adam Schiff was lying about what he was reading in the transcript. And then he came out, he said, well, I was just doing a parody. No, you were lying. He was actually censored in the House of Representatives because he was lying. Of course, it didn't happen when Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House, but it happened when the Republicans took over. He was censored. So then he left the House and went over to the Senate, and he's still lying. And the liar that took his place in the House is Goldman. Goldman took his place. But let me share some of this with you. There's the Communist News Network, of course, which I refer to them as. The Communist News Network, they're on here saying that, talking about Kash Patel has a enemies list. This is what they're saying. They're saying Kash Patel has an enemies list. I'm like, really? And he's just talking about the deep state. Now, if they haven't done anything wrong, there should be no concerns at all. If they've done nothing wrong. See, look, for example, I'm on here talking to all of you. I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't broken any laws. I don't have the feds knocking at my door. I don't have a warrant out for my arrest. Now, when you look at the left, the liberals, they all be, oh my goodness, Will Johnson, he's such a bad guy. He tells the truth too much, when it comes to the left. But I've done nothing wrong. Now, I may have gotten under people's skin. I may have, poked at people every now and then, but I've not broken any laws. So the same thing for these people. If they haven't broken any laws, they shouldn't have anything to worry about, right? Right? Well, look at this one. Look at it. This was on the Communist News Network. And of course, they're having a conversation about Kash Patel having an enemies list. And it's not even an enemies list. It's a deep state list. And, they actually know that the deep state is against America. And that's the reason why you have people like on the Communist News Network, with them saying that it's a enemies list. Listen.
I mean, you have no issue with an FBI director that has an enemies list made up of basically critics?
I wouldn't call that an enemies list. That's what the media likes to call it. What he was doing is exposing what he felt like was truth, and I don't think he was far off base. He's also the one that exposed the hypocrisy coming out of the FBI and exposed what Director Wray was doing, and by weaponizing the FBI to go after political enemies. You've got to remember, this is the same FBI that was going after Catholic churches, think that they could be a domestic terrorist organization. They were the same people that went after parents for going to school board meetings during COVID. This is an organization that should be mission focused on keeping all Americans safe, not weaponize themselves after political foes by treating President Trump's classified documents completely different than what they treated Biden's classified documents. And no one can say that they weren't classified documents. Either they are or they're not. Why were they treated different? Kash Patel
are two different special counsels. But
it doesn't make any difference. The FBI wrote a report feeling sorry for Biden and said that it's probably
that was the special counsel, not the FBI.
Well, the FBI was the one that did the investigation. And so what I'm saying is Kash Patel is the one that exposed the hypocrisy going on there, and he's somebody that can restore the faith back in it. This is why law enforcement overwhelmingly supported him. He had
Let me stop it really quick. That's what they have the problem with, because Kash Patel exposed the corruption that was taking place. Same reason why they're against Elon Musk, because he's exposing the corruption that was taking place. If you're exposing the corruption, they don't want you. If you're exposing the corruption, they want you out. Right? Same thing with President Trump. He exposed this corruption. There's a pattern here. Is anyone else seeing it?
FBI.
Well, the FBI was the one that did the investigation. And so what I'm saying is Kash Patel is the one that exposed the hypocrisy going on there, and he's somebody that can restore the faith back in it. This is why law enforcement overwhelmingly supported him. He had 3,100 law enforcement officers, current law enforcement officers, that supported Kash Patel to be the director of FBI.
Why would somebody who looks like he is eager to politicize the FBI be an answer to what you are?
What do you mean politicize? He didn't politicize it. Director Wray and the Biden administration politicized it. He's wanting to restore.
It's a group called
focus.
Government Gangsters and called a cabal of unelected tyrants.
How is that politicizing? That wasn't an enemies list. That was in his book, and he was exposing the decisions that they had made at the time. When you start saying that he's going to politicize it, he's made it very clear that he's wanting to put them back in focus for protecting American people and get them out of the political game that they've been playing for 8 years, really, because they did it underneath Hillary and they did it underneath Biden.
Or Hillary wasn't president.
Secretary of State.
Okay. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of the great state of Oklahoma. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
You know, the fact that he has to go on there and Jake, some people call him Jake the Snake.
You call him Jake the Snake.
Well, actually, I got that. Well, yeah, I call him Jake the Snake. But I got it from Mark Dice.
Oh, okay.
The first time I heard him referred to as Jake the Snake was Mark Dice. And I said, oh, yeah, that makes complete sense. But he's not on there, playing devil's advocate or hitting back, trying to ask tough questions, But he's asking these questions because he truly believes in what the left is doing. And again, all of this wasteful spending, and I can't wrap my mind around it. I'm not surprised. Just to be clear. But they're exposing all of this wasteful spending, and even in some cases, fraud taking place. And every single Democrat runs up there and says, oh, this is a constitutional crisis that you're actually doing this. And I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. And you know what? There's a lot of people that's seeing this unfold right now. A lot of people that didn't even pay attention to politics, and more people are starting to realize that this federal government has been taking from us and then spending it on whatever. They've been pushing all this money out there. And then you have a group of people that's saying we need to stop sending this money out and we need to give it back to the American people. And who's fighting that? And I have this question, and I've been asking this question all along. It goes right along with this. How many Democrats have you ever heard say America first? I keep asking that question. None of them are saying it. None of them are saying America first.
I think that conservatives going on these liberal media platforms has been really smart, because they've been able to really combat the perception that the liberal media has been trying to put out there. Just like he's trying to say, oh, he has an enemies list. He's like, no, he's calling out the people that did wrong things, and that's what's really happening. And so I like what is happening, because they're giving a voice to common sense. Let's be honest. Mullins handled himself very well. And remember, he was very critical of Trump at one point and some of his appointees. But he's come around. He's like, listen, now he's advocating for it. Because why? Because it's common sense. These are good things. These are not bad things. But the Republicans have been really strong in their messaging. And they've been really strong in combating this anti-Trump administration message. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see it go, because we just need to constantly talk about common sense stuff
And the truth.
And I mean, that's where the truth comes into play.
Right.
Common sense. If you're talking common sense, you're going to tell the truth. If you're going to talk common sense, there's so many things that the left was pushing that didn't make any sense at all. And then we, as conservative Christian Republicans, MAGA Republicans, we would tell the truth because we would lean on common sense. And of course, the left, they would reject it. And a lot of times when you bring up common sense stuff, when it comes to the left, they were saying that you're being hateful. I mean, how dare you? You're just being hateful. What about their feelings? Well, what about common sense? What about reality?
Yeah, and we have the phone line open 319-527-3453. We would love to hear from you guys. Good things have happened this week. You know, we got Kash Patel that's been confirmed and just all the things that Trump has been putting in place. We want to hear from you and see what your feeling is of what this
Yes,
administration is
we are
doing.
currently live, everyone. You know, it's Friday. I open up the phone lines on Friday, 319-527-3453. Who would you, let's just pretend that there is an actual deep state list that Kash Patel is going to go and get. Who would you like to see? Give me a call. Who would you like to see on the list? Or who would you like to see at the top of the list? And me personally, I think Adam Schiff, he needs to be bumped up to the top of the list. I don't know if Kash Patel is going to have him at the top of the list, but he should be at least one of the first 5. I don't know who his number 1 person would be. Some people said, you know, Hillary Clinton because of what happened in 2016, you know, and these Fauci, you know, they said Fauci should be on the top of the list. You know, we don't have to go into details about why, just, you know, we already know why Fauci should be on the list, right? We already know why Mayorkas should be on the list, right? We already know the reason why. But I would like to know, who do you think should be at the top of the list if he has an actual deep state list that he's going to go after? And one liberal told me, said, oh, the deep state, that consists of Elon Musk and all of the other billionaires that's going to make money from what President Trump is doing. You know, these liberals don't have any rational thinking at all. There's none at all. That's why they can't comprehend common sense thinking, right? Here's another one. This one was Laura Ingraham. And they're on here talking about, of course, Adam Schiff. Why is Adam Schiff out there so much, pushing so much like, oh my goodness, Kash Patel, Kash Patel, Kash Patel? Well, watch this. Watch this.
Joining me now is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, why, oh why, is Adam Schiff so worried about Kash Patel?
Adam Schiff is afraid of the truth because he's a habitual liar. Talk about a political hack. He is one, but now he's unfortunately a U.S. Senator. But I fully expect Kash Patel, first of all, to be transparent, which obviously the FBI and Department of Justice was not under President Biden. The American people deserve the truth, and we're going to work very closely with Kash Patel to give the American people the truth, to expose all the corruption, the partisanship within the FBI, maybe even the Department of Justice. This can't go on. We're going to return integrity, restore integrity to the FBI. That is Kash's mission. That's what he told me prior to his confirmation hearing. He wanted to return credibility and integrity to the FBI. You know, send agents out to the field, make prosecutorial decisions out there, outside the politics of Washington, D.C., return to a single system of justice, one for all Americans.
Yes, one that's not been weaponized against the American people. And Kash Patel's going to bring that back. Kash Patel, this is exactly what we've been wanting. This is part of the mandate. This is what we've been calling for. And I'm happy to see it. Now, again, I like to see who's at the top of his list, who's on the list. Be transparent. Come on, Kash Patel, be transparent. Release the list. I want to see it. But I would also like to know, what do you think his first order of business is going to be? Is it going to be turning the FBI building into a museum? I don't really think he's going to do that.
No, and I don't think that needs to happen.
I don't think he's actually going to do it, but I love the concept. I really do. So we have a phone call, Shannon?
Yes, we do.
Look, hey, everybody, I don't bite too hard. I do bite, but not too hard. 319-527-3453.
Yeah, we love to talk to you guys. All right, well, we have Susan from Arizona.
Hello, Susan. Thank you so much for the call, and happy Friday.
Hello, Will. Happy Friday. Oh, my God. I'm so glad that Kash Patel got put into the FBI.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Oh, my goodness.
Yes,
you know,
now we're going to see some real change.
Yep. You know, one of the first things that I thought about when he went in, when he was confirmed, is that how many Democrats are going to run to the airport?
Not just the Democrats, everybody else. I mean, good Lord, you know. I can't wait until he brings out the Epstein list. You know, all of that got to come out. It's going to be, oh my God, it's going to be epic for real.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Epstein is epic. I also, you know, more than JFK and all that, because, you know, we already know that the CIA and the government was involved in that. I want to know, what's going to happen about the FISA court and the people that did face false FISA reports. I want to know about the corruption, the weaponization that happened against Trump. Like, I want to know those recent things because those are huge.
Oh, yeah, those are huge. And we have to know that because we can't run our country until we know what the heck they've been lying to us about all these years and hiding from us, you know. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we do know a lot of it already because, you know, I mean, I paid attention on the Q thing. They taught me how to look stuff up on the internet because I didn't really know anything about that before, you know. And then me looking through things on the internet, I'm like, holy cow, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on, you know. Adam Schiff needs to be at the top of the list, I think. I mean, he really is a bad character, you know.
Yeah.
But there's so many of them that are bad. Pick one.
Oh
you
my
know?
goodness. Oh my goodness. There's so many of them. So you would like to see the first order of business is that he released the Epstein list? Is that what you would like to see, the first order of business?
Well, that's what I would like to see. But
Hmm.
I mean, I know that there's more corruption and stuff
Oh yeah.
going on as
Oh
far
yeah.
as monetary and what have you, you know. And we're getting all that through Doge, you know, which I hate to say this to the Democratic Party or whoever, but actually, when we voted for Trump, we voted for his whole team because we knew they were coming in, you know.
Yeah,
And
100%. You notice they constantly talk about, well, Elon Musk, no one voted for Elon Musk. No one ever said we voted for Elon Musk. They're upset because
but
Elon Musk is exposing them. We voted for President Trump and he's on President Trump's team. I mean, they don't
that's right.
understand, these people on the left, they don't understand or comprehend anything.
Well, I'm not sure if they don't comprehend. I just think they're scared as hell. That's what I think.
They should be, and very well, they should be.
They are really scared, and they're trying to run. You know,
Uh-huh.
the the
Yeah.
the things that are on the View. I would call them ladies, but really they're not ladies. I'm sorry.
You ever
But
see that old movie called Clash of the Titans?
oh yeah, I've
Do
seen
you
that
remember? Do you
several
remember
times.
the witches around that thing? The eye, the eye. Do you remember that part?
Oh yeah, I do. I
That's
remember that.
that's what they remind me of. The witches of the, I call them the witches of the View. That's what they remind me of. Like they are all around the
Exactly.
eye.
Exactly. They're so full of hate, and it's
Oh my
like,
goodness.
wow, really? Why do you hate everybody, for God's sake? Whoopi Goldberg would have never been nothing if she hadn't come to America and gotten into movies and all that kind of stuff. You know, I don't know where she thinks that she's got some kind of right to put people down and stuff. You know, don't you investigate? Well, of course, we see what the heck is happening with the news people too. They don't investigate anything
No,
either.
no, they don't. No, they
I'm
don't.
sure my daddy is rolling in his grave because that man used to be a naval journalist, you know, and he used to investigate a lot of stuff. Him and a small circle of his journalistic friends, they used to investigate some weird stuff. And one of his friends had gotten killed down in Tucson years ago,
Huh.
and it was because they were checking something out. I don't know what it was because my dad wouldn't tell me. You know, he said, "I don't want to endanger you, so you can't know." And
Interesting.
and I didn't want to ask him, but he said some of it came from when he was in Nam because he did 4 tours in Nam, and he said we uncovered some stuff there while we were there, and then we brought it back this way, and we started investigating even more. And he said we've uncovered something, and it's really big. He said, but we can't tell our family what it is because it will endanger them.
Hmm.
And I believed him
You know,
at the time.
I bet you there's a lot of stories like that and a lot of things that are like that. So,
Oh
but
yeah, you know, and it's really good that we're getting this. Everybody calls it that Trump is trying to do vengeance. Trump is not doing vengeance.
no.
This is a reckoning. You are reckoning to the American people now.
Yep, Susan.
You
You know
know,
what? Yeah, I love what President Trump is doing, and I think I'm looking forward to him doing more and exposing more. So, Susan, thank you so much for the call, and have a wonderful weekend.
you too, sweetie. Love you.
Love you
Bye.
back. Take care. I don't think your mic is on.
Patrick, we have Patrick from Ohio.
Hello, Patrick. Hey, thank you so much for the call. Happy Friday.
Hi.
Hello.
Will, I had this. Am I on?
Yes, sir, you are.
Well, Will, I want to say, this has been a few years back. I had the distinct honor of talking to you on the phone when you were on a previous show, and it was quite an honor. What you have done for our country, you are a true patriot, sir.
Well, you know what,
You are a
Patrick,
true
I
patriot.
greatly appreciate that. You know, this is the greatest country on God's green earth, blue earth,
Yeah,
green
and
and
let's
blue
bring
earth,
God
right?
back.
It is the greatest country known to man ever in the history of this world. And I would like to keep our country great. And you know what? For me, there's no other place that would rather be. I would not want to
Oh,
be
yeah.
anywhere else. I love what's happening right now, especially what's happening with President Trump, what he's doing. So I just feel that I'm doing my part. And a lot of times I still feel like I'm not doing enough. I always feel like that. I always feel like I need to do more. But, you know, thank you so much for the absolutely positive comment.
Well, can I say something else?
Absolutely.
We have kicked God out of this country, and I want God to come back in this country. And I think God appointed Trump. That everything is a sign to it. When he survived the assassination attempts, and we know who was behind that, and all the other things, God is on Trump's side, and God is back with us again.
Yes. Yes.
No, it's funny,
And
Patrick,
I'll tell
because
you something. I had a tremendous blessing, Will. One day, I was listening on the internet. I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of teared up here. I was listening to Ava Maria on the internet on Christmas Day, 2019. And I don't know what happened, but I broke down and I said, Lord, please forgive me, Lord, for all that I've done bad. And forgive me. I want to be with you, Lord, for the rest of my life. I'm 73. I know I may not have much longer, but I feel like I'm at peace with everything. And I don't want anybody to feel hate. I want love.
Amen.
I want love to prevail over. I don't care about all this other stuff. Just everybody, just love each other, treat each other. Remember the golden rule: treat others as you would have them treat you.
Amen.
And
Amen.
if just, I pray every day for this country, and I think Trump has answered that. I think God has answered my prayer.
You know,
So
yeah,
I don't want to take too long.
No, thank you
but
so
I
much.
appreciate this.
Yes, thank you so much.
Sorry. Well, God bless you, Will, and I'm going to pray for you, and pray for all of our leaders who are really on the side to bring America back to its greatness that we once had.
Absolutely. So before you go, did you say you were 73?
Yes, sir.
No way.
Yes, sir.
No way. I mean, if I would have, you sound like you're maybe 35.
Well, I live a pretty quiet. I'm not saying I was saint when I was younger. I was pretty wild.
Well, I'm just saying.
I was a biker. I rode Harleys. I mean, I was a wild man. Okay.
Well, you know what? You know what?
But that's all gone now.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We all have our past and everything, but just listening to you, you can complete a sentence, and you know, especially after listening to Joe Biden the past 4 years, and then hearing you. I mean, you're like, I would have never known had you not told me. I would have said maybe I would say maybe in his 40s, maybe. Wow. Well, good for you.
I live a pretty quiet. I live a pretty clean life. I don't drink. I gave up cigarettes 5 years ago, cold turkey.
Well, God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say I appreciate what you do, Will, and that day that you talked to me, you know, I have a copy of that I have kept for the last 3 or 4, maybe 5 years. I've got it backed up on about 5 or 6 different places to drive.
Wow.
Because every time I listen to that, it brings me back to when I had the honor of talking to you.
Wow. I'm honored. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, I'll let you go. There's other people who need to talk, but God bless you,
God
Will.
bless you.
And you are a true patriot. And my ex-girlfriend, we're not together anymore because of a lot of different reasons. We still are good friends. But she is a big fan of yours, too. And she has talked to you before on the phone.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's great.
Well, thank you. Well, have a
Yeah.
wonderful
Well,
weekend.
tell
Well,
her hi too for
Yeah, well,
Will.
tell us I said hi.
yes, and thank you so much, both of you. And the lady that's there, she does a tremendous job.
Oh, thank you
Oh
very
yeah,
much.
absolutely, absolutely. Take care.
Thanks,
Okay, well,
Patrick.
you have a blessed day.
You
Thank
too.
you so much.
You too.
You
Take
too.
care. Bye.
God bless.
Bye bye.
Okay, so the phone line is open, everyone. 319-527-3453. I would like to hear from you. What would you like to see Kash Patel do in his first order of business? And who would you like to see on the top of his list? I would really like to hear from you. The phone line is open, 319-527-3453. And what's up, Mo? I'm told that Mo was in the chat. What's up, Mo? Give me a call, Mo. You got the number right there. Give me a call. Okay, I got another one I want to share with you. And of course, the first one I shared with you, and they were talking about Kash Patel. And for those of you that didn't see it, the first video I showed, they were talking about Kash Patel having an enemies list. And that's, of course, that's what the left calls it when it's a straight up, they know that the deep state is the enemy of the people. That's the reason why the left will call it an enemy list instead of just calling it a deep state list. Then the second one I showed you, why Adam Schiff is acting and reacting the way that he is because he's terrified of what Kash Patel could possibly do. Because Adam Schiff knows that he's done wrong. He knows it. Well, listen to Adam Schiff here. He goes on the MSDNC. Can you split screen it for me? He goes on the MSDNC. And of course, I believe the only reason why he's doing this is so when and if Kash Patel actually goes after him for all the criminal stuff that he's done, that he can come on and say, oh, see, he's weaponizing it against those of us that are in the Senate, in Congress. He's weaponizing the federal government, the FBI against us. That's all that he's doing. He's trying to get ahead of it. That's all that he's doing. Kash Patel should get the data and expose him and allow the entire world to see exactly how corrupt this dude is. Listen.
Look, when Donald Trump is gone, there's a Democratic president. I can't imagine they're going to want to keep on someone as destructive as Kash Patel. But I could imagine, frankly, that we would be in this place to begin with. So we're in uncharted waters. We've had a debate about what level of constitutional crisis we're in.
So why is this a constitutional crisis? I mean, why is it a constitutional crisis? Any other time, the Democrats do not care about the Constitution. But now, all of a sudden, we're in a constitutional crisis. You know, the Democrats, they've also talked about rewriting the Constitution or doing away with the Constitution if they can't rewrite it. And they don't like the Constitution unless they can weaponize it against the American people. They hate it. They hate the First Amendment because President Trump keeps talking about free speech. So they're against free speech. And of course, the Second Amendment, you know how they feel about the Second Amendment because they don't want you to be able to defend yourself, just like they don't want the country to be able to defend itself. See, they'll go after the defense payments, right? They'll go after the defense budget, rather, but they don't want to go after all of this other fraudulent stuff. What is the constitutional crisis he's talking about? He's just saying it because he knows that they're in trouble.
So we're in uncharted waters. We've had a debate about what level of constitutional crisis we're in. And frankly, I think we're already there. Mm-hmm. And yes, it can get worse if they just start ignoring court opinions. But when you have someone who is essentially the president's Roy Cohn, his hatchet man, now controlling the premier law enforcement agency, when you've got Pam Bondi, an election denier, as the attorney general, when you've got Emil Bove insisting on the firing of prosecutors in New York because they don't want to dismiss a corruption case against the mayor for the reason that the mayor is helping the president with his immigration policy. That's the argument of the Justice Department.
They're not firing people, though. They're actually the lawyers are attorneys or the lawyers are resigning themselves.
Right, because they're getting told to do a job.
But you know what?
And they're refusing to do the job.
The justice system in New York City has been politicized so much. There's activist judges. It needs to change. You know what? It doesn't hurt my feeling that they're resigning because if you don't want to do the right thing in the first place, well, then bye. Will we have a phone call?
Okay, let's go to it.
Caller, you're on the line with Will.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Will, this is Victoria Totten. I'm calling from Indiana.
Hey, thank you so much for the call.
It's been a long time since I talked to you. I am the one that's been following you since before you had a stick for your phone, walked around the streets of Milpitas.
That's been a
Well,
minute.
yes, it has. I just want to tell you that I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. You've been hanging in there all this time. I've been hanging in there with you. I've been through one Xbox, two PlayStations, and four TVs just to keep you.
Wow, I'm
Wow.
honored. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, and you're done good. You're doing good. Just keep on doing it, brother. You're doing good, Will.
Well, I
So
really
I just want
appreciate that.
you to know that, and good luck to you and all the people that are working with you now. And as far as anybody, I want to see Kash Patel get the number one person should be Dr. Fauci.
Ooh, you
Yeah.
and so many.
You know what? A lot of people saying Fauci needs to be right there. Where is Fauci? Because you know, a
Yeah.
lot of times he's like running to the liberal media, and
Yeah.
you
He's
know, I'm Fauci.
unusually
Well,
quiet right now.
and he's lost his security detail. He can pay for his own. He lost his personal limousine that we were paying for, which he can afford his own. I mean, it's really something that they were doing all of it. It's just crazy to me. But yeah, I think Fauci, if he's not number one, he needs to be like one or two, right? He
Hey,
probably should be number one.
hey, there is two more things I want to mention. One, you hardly ever heard about Fauci's wife. She was the head of the NIH, wasn't she?
You know what? I
Yeah.
think I heard that. I'm not sure. I'm
She
not
needs
sure.
to hang too. She needs to hang too. Um, there is one thing off subject that if you guys could check out for me, because I don't have a computer, um, is I just heard where Trump pulled together a bunch of governors to do something with disaster relief, and all the governors that he got together, Gretchen Williams, one of them, to be on this team. And I don't know if this is fake news or not coming out. So
Well, I can
I'm
say
just wondering.
this. I can say this. When Trump went to Los Angeles, he talked about the elimination of FEMA, and he said one reason why is because the federal government did a very poor job about helping the states. He believes that recovery and emergency services should be in the individual states, and the individual
Yeah.
states know that they know their needs better than anyone else, better than the federal government. So he feels like if emergency services are at the states, they'll be able to react faster, quicker, and better for the people in their state. So I do believe that just because he has already mentioned that.
Okay, good. Thank you for clearing that up for me. And like I said, I won't keep you any longer. But love to all of you, okay? You just keep on trucking, you old Californian, you.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
All right,
take
love
care.
y'all. Bye-bye.
Take care. Love you back. Okay, before we go on, I want to just tell you about this Rumble Premium. This is pretty awesome, actually. So this is the Rumble Premium. This is a sponsor from Rumble, right? One that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built a platform for small creators like Will Johnson. They didn't censor or have bias, and we know what that's like. They were fair and they treated all creators equally. And that's all that we want. No one thought platforms would censor political conversations or censor stuff about the COVID or any of that. But they did. Facebook admitted to it and fell to the pressure of the Biden and Harris administration. Rumble did not, though, which is really awesome. They held the line. They were attacked daily and for giving us a voice to talk to you. They were attacked by the corporate media. They were attacked by the governments. You know that, like the government of France. They were attacked by brand advertisers who refused to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove free speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble would not survive with brand advertisers. They didn't get much of it. Watching my show here on Rumble is most likely the best way you can and helping me out. But if you really want to fight, and you know if you have the means to fight, one of the major ways you can help Rumble to survive is to join the Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in human rights for free speech. Rumble's offering $10 off everybody with the promo code STUDIO when you get the purchase of the annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and you believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, just watching my video here on Rumble means a lot. And for those of you that don't know, you can sign up for Rumble for free, right? If you don't have the means, go to rumble.com/Will Johnson and you can connect with me. All right? Do that. I would greatly appreciate it. Highly appreciate it. Okay, so let's go to California, because Victoria, she brought up California, and I used to live in California. For those of you that don't know this, yes, I used to live in California, and I moved to Texas, and I didn't bring that. I never had the communistic way of thinking, And here's a prime example of the communistic way of thinking. Right now, Elon Musk exposed all of this corruption, all of the wasteful spending, and who's fighting to keep the wasteful spending? Communists. They are. And you know who the communists are. Well, look at this. This happened just, yesterday or the day before in California, and talking about this high-speed rail to nowhere. They started building this speed rail in California back in 2008. 2008. And where's the speed rail gone? Nowhere. And they keep asking for billions of dollars. Billions of dollars go into this high-speed rail into California, and it never goes anywhere. I think they may put one rail down and call it good. I mean, it's really bizarre. Since 2008, it's about to be 20 years of not even going anywhere. It's not even functional. Well, some Republicans, and we bring up on the screen here, some Republicans got together and they like the idea of Doge. And you know what? Doge should be in every single state in the country. It really should. Listen, and watch how they react to them saying, look, we got to stop this wasteful spending in California.
Good morning. I'm Kevin Kiley. I represent California's 3rd District. California's high-speed rail disaster is the worst public infrastructure failure in U.S. history.
Wow. And you listen to him.
Guess there are at least a few people who still support high-speed rail in California.
You hear this? When I first heard this, I'm like, man, they sound pretty demonic. But that's what you typically get from Democrats. They sound really demonic. Here they are trying to save these idiots money in California, trying to save them money, trying to make it to where they're not getting taxed even more. And they're in there complaining towards them. Their complaints is towards them for trying to save them money. Make it make sense, people. Listen, watch this. Watch.
Very few. California's high-speed rail disaster is the worst public infrastructure failure in U.S. history.
So you see this. They're on there. Build the rail. Build the rail. That's what he's talking about. They should have built the rail 20 years ago. And actually, the rail was designated to be completed in 2020 because they started in 2008. It was designated to be done in 2020. It is 2025, and they still haven't gone anywhere. High speed rail has gone nowhere. Where's the speed at? It was supposed to be done, but they keep asking for money. It's just like, oh, bring the money in and we'll spend it on something else. Someone is putting the money in their pocket. This is crazy to me. Doge needs to be in every state. Now, listen to this one. And of course, he's on there and he goes, people were actually chanting, build the rail. Build the rail. Why weren't they chanting that back in 2019. Because they had one more year after that, right? They were not doing that then. As long as the rail's not getting built, the people that are chanting build the rail won't chant. As long as it's not getting built. But here's Republicans saying, look, finish the job with the money that you already been allowed, right? The money that you've received already, finish the job. You've already received above and beyond what the budget was supposed to be for in the first place. The money's going somewhere. The money, the billions of dollars is going somewhere. Does this make sense to anybody? Listen.
I want to address the protesters for a moment, if I could. I think they were chanting, build the rail. It's been 17 years and $16 billion, and no rail has been built. So if you want to go protest somewhere, if you want to shout at someone, go to the governor's mansion. Go talk to Democrats in the legislature who have brought us this crappy project, right? So we've seen over the course of the last month what DOGE has exposed with regard to fraud, waste, and abuse. And we're done with it. And you know what? You're going to have people who love fraud, who love waste, who love trains to nowhere.
Who loves trains to nowhere. And they're out there protesting against them for wanting to have the job complete, to get it done, stop wasting the money. And just like good typical liberals, how dare you want to complete this job? How dare you not want wasteful spending to take place? Listen.
But all of us up here, we do not love fraud, waste, and abuse. Nope. We are going to use the taxpayer money efficiently and effectively, and this is a boondoggle.
100%. 100%. And, you know, it's really amazing to hear them show up and protest. I was kind of like, wish I was there. Kind of wish I was there with them, participating in the fun and games. You know, it is what it is. Now, I want to change it up a little bit here because, again, you know, President Trump has done a fantastic job. Oh, I guess, you know, yesterday it's been one solid month now. It's been one solid month since President Trump has been in office, and I think I've heard seen a couple of reports where they were saying that President Trump is the first president to ever accomplish so much within the first month of his administration. It's never happened before. Look at everything that they're doing. Someone sent me a screenshot that they were watching on MSDNC. And in the screenshot, it said that the Trump administration has removed or basically fired 7,000 IRS employees. 7,000. Well, the person who sent me to it, they don't like Trump. And that's the only reason why they send it to me. And they asked me, what do I think about this? Do I agree with them firing 7,000? And I told my producer about it. And her response to me when they sent me the question, how do I agree with it? And she said, what did you say? And I said, no, I don't agree. And she kind of looked at me and she go, why don't you agree? I said, because it's not all of them. Fire all of them. Get rid of the IRS. And only people who are against getting rid of the IRS are people that are against President Trump, no matter what he does. Like, for example, President Trump said that every American should have the right to free speech. The same people will say, oh my goodness, he wants free speech. We want to get rid of free speech. This is what they're saying. They want to get rid of free speech because President Trump came out and said it. If President Trump says that when the rain falls from the sky, and I'm making this one up here, okay? When the rain falls from the sky, President Trump is saying that everyone should be able to stand outside and open their mouth and catch rain. And then, of course, Democrats will come back and say, well, we need to create legislation to prevent people from going outside and opening their mouths to catch rain. That's how they operate. Anything that President Trump wants to do positive for the country, they're against it. President Trump is finding wasteful dollars going out to nonsense. They want to stop it. They should be on board with that. And as I mentioned multiple times, this is a perfect opportunity for the Democrats to come out and lie to the American people. Straight up, they should be lying. They don't have any issues lying. Come out and just lie and say, yes, you know what? We're going to stop the wasteful spending. But they're not doing it. They're so angry they can't even comprehend what President Trump is doing. Well, what did I think about it? They do comprehend. They just don't like the fact that their cash cow's getting cut off. That's what they're upset about. Oh, did y'all see President Trump? And actually, it was on the White House channel. See if you can find it really quick. Go to X and type in White House and go to the White House X page. And it might be, you might have to scroll down a little bit, but there's an image that they put on X, the White House X page, of President Trump saying King Trump. Have you seen it? You've seen it, right? Can you go to it? The White House. It's the White House X page. And type in and just scroll down on their page there and you'll see it. And they put the image of their King Trump. You see this right here? This is the only Time magazine I've ever purchased. The only one ever. Because they put President Trump on the front of it. Person of the year. Actually, it should be person of the century. Really. It really should be. But did you find it yet? You can't find it?
There's a lot of stuff on, and they've reposted a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's probably down there. But,
oh, here it is.
Okay, you found it? Okay, I want you to put up on the screen. Now, President Trump is not wanting to be king, but President Trump is trolling these liberals. And he's trolling them to the point where they're all going, oh my goodness, yeah, bring it up. I love it. I love it. What is that? Look at that. Look at that. He's purposely trolling them. And see, again, President Trump, his team put this out there knowing how the Democrats are going to react. They actually had some town hall and the Democrats were reacting to it. Oh my goodness, he called himself King Trump. Governor Hochul printed this out and she did a press conference talking about King Trump. He's trolling them. He's triggering them. And it's so obvious. I mean, it's 100% obvious. And I love it. I'm loving it. Good on him. Talking about a president with a sense of humor. But you know what? Any other time when President Trump does something, oh, he's a liar. He never tells the truth. He's never honest. But then when he puts out this to troll them and trigger them, oh, he's being completely honest now. You got to take him for his word. Believe everything that he's saying. This is how liberals are. Did y'all see this? I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. I love it. I love it. King Trump. Now, just to be honest with you, it wouldn't hurt my feelings to have President Trump in there for another 4 years after this. I'm just saying. It wouldn't hurt my feelings. But after these 4 years, he's gonna be done. He's gonna be ready. He's gonna be ready to be done. I mean, really, he is. And I don't blame him either. But I'm just telling you. I'm hoping that JD Vance will go ahead and pick up the mantle and keep going and even hit it even harder, right? And I'm looking for him to learn a lot from President Trump. That's what I'm looking to. And talking about how President Trump is actually doing positive things around the world. Let me share this one with you. This is the Communist News Network, and they're just livid. See, Zelensky in Ukraine, he gets on a phone call with President Trump and Marco Rubio, actually, and Marco Rubio and President Trump is listening to the Zelensky saying that, okay, we're gonna do these peace talks, and we're gonna take the resources that we have in Ukraine, and we're gonna use that to pay back all of the almost $200 billion that you gave us, right? And Zelensky goes, you know what? Sounds good to me. I think this is something we can do because we want America to be there for us. We want to work with America. And then what does Zelensky do? Zelensky runs straight to the cameras and says that he told them no. He said, I told Trump and Marco Rubio no. I told the Americans no. We're not going to give them anything. And President Trump go, oh, okay. Zelensky don't know who he's dealing with. He doesn't know who he's dealing with. Well, of course, President Trump is doing the peace talks, and the left is upset that President Trump is doing peace talks and he's talking to Vladimir Putin. They can't stand it. I mean, how dare he get along with Vladimir Putin? We're supposed to be at war. Had that witch been in there, it would have been a completely different outcome. We'd probably be in World War III right now, less than a month, talking about doing the most. Well, listen to this. And the guy that's talking, the guy right here, he's considering himself as a Republican, or at least they refer to him as a Republican. This is what you call a straight up rhino, a rhinocrat. He's not a Republican at all. Listen.
Donald Trump is saying everything Vladimir Putin would say. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the American people generally don't care about what's going on over there. The American president right now could be a plant, could be a Russian asset. I mean, think about that. Here I am. I know it's early in the morning to say something like that, but think about that. And if the American people don't care about that Putin might have something on Trump, that he's an asset, that he's a plant, that he's doing the bidding of Vladimir Putin, if the American people don't care about that,
well, the thing is, listen,
I'm sorry to get us off the topic.
We don't have evidence of that. I mean, the point.
Did you hear what he said right there? Did you hear what he said right there?
Yeah, they have no evidence of that.
Yeah,
That's
I want to
so
play it. I want to play it one more time, just in
for him
case
to
anyone
say
missed that. And that's the reason. You know the reason why he's out there saying we have no evidence of that, right? Because the liberal media, they've been put on notice about all of the lies that they're putting out there, and he has to go in there and do basically like a disclaimer. They're saying, well, we don't have any evidence. Of course you don't. You're making the crap up. They've been making crap up for the past 8 years. They've been put on notice. Their ratings are in the dirt. Listen.
Well, the thing is, listen.
I'm sorry to get us off the topic.
We don't have evidence of that. I mean, the point about their positions being aligned is different.
He goes, they're identical. They're identical. I can't imagine any leader that cares for the country wants to have a conflict go on indefinitely. Except for the Democrats. They like conflict. You know who else like conflict? You know who else like conflict, Shannon?
Who?
Satan.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Satan. And
yeah.
so now
he's the creator of it.
Yeah. Do you understand why I call them Democrats?
Yeah.
Because they love conflict.
Yeah. And listen, right here, I know we're going to get off here, but Zelensky, listen to this. Trump he said this today. He said, Zelensky has no cards and shouldn't be in the meetings with Russia. Listen, Zelensky has nothing to offer. He has nothing to offer. The only reason why Zelensky wants in these meetings is because he wants to make sure that he reaps some kind of monetary benefit from the war ending, because it's been a huge cash flow for him. So whether he wants, Russia to help pay for the rebuilding or whatever, there's something that Zelensky wants. Zelensky is a weasel. And Marco Rubio, there's a great interview with Marco Rubio where he talks about what a weasel Zelensky is. And so Zelensky can't be trusted. Even when he says he's going to do something, or what, he turns around. If you remember, even Biden cussed out Zelensky because he's a weasel.
Yeah, that's what Marco Rubio was talking about in the interview with what's her name, Catherine, I believe. And he was saying that, that's what I was mentioning earlier. And Zelensky was on the phone with Joe Biden, and Joe Biden ended up cursing Zelensky. Cursing him out on the phone because he wasn't doing the right thing. Because Zelensky was telling Joe Biden what he's going to do for me. And Joe Biden was telling him, saying, look, no, you need to do X, Y, Z. And Zelensky said, no, you're going to do this for me. You're going to give me more money. You're going to give me more. And the reason why Zelensky was pressuring Joe Biden and Joe Biden was caving in is because of all of the corruption. Remember Burisma oil? Remember that? You remember all of the talks? You remember Joe Biden sitting on the panel and saying that if you don't, fire the prosecutor. Zelensky had Joe Biden by his shriveled wabbles. Had him. Had him. He told Joe Biden to cough. You got a physical lately, you know what I'm talking about. For the men. He had him. Hey, let me tell you about this new thing that I've been doing, talking about Burisma Oil. This is a wonderful program that I'm so excited about. It's the money strategy. Can we show that one? Can we put that up there? Is there any opportunity to put that up there? The money strategy. I want to share this one. Yeah, the JohnsonOilBoom.com. The JohnsonOilBoom.com. Y'all need to go check it out, everybody. Go on there, read up on the information. Because even look, check this out. Warren Buffett just invested over $50 billion in energy. Look, these people know the deal was getting ready to happen. Billionaire Ken Griffin increased his oil investment by 150%. Come on. Even Elon Musk said we can't live without oil. And he's the electric guy. But here's what Wall Street isn't telling you. There's a smart way for you to profit by them buying stocks. It's a unique investment that allows you to collect monthly royalty checks from America's richest oil fields. You're not just buying shares in a company. You're not even buying shares in a company. You're getting direct ownership in oil producing properties. And you can start with just $25, people. You can learn more about this #1 oil royalty program by going to JohnsonOilBoom.com. JohnsonOilBoom.com. That is JohnsonOilBoom.com to discover how you can collect monthly oil royalty checks starting today. The very fact that you can do it with just $25, go in there and get started with it. Go on there and read it up. It's beautiful. I mean, it's like a no-brainer. I'm doing it. You should go check it out. JohnsonOilBoom.com. Let me play this other clip, Shannon. I got to hold it up just a second because I got to play this last one. This was one that was on MSDNC. And this goes to show that people are realizing that all this wasteful spending is not the way we need to go. And of course, the liberals, the hardcore liberals, they can't rational think about it. Watch this.
Now, my question to people, if you think about it, we don't borrow money to donate to a charity at the end of the year. But right now, we're borrowing $2 trillion to do all this humanitarian work around the world. And I'm not saying it's not important, but we have to, Congress has got to balance the budget. We have got to get our spending under control.
0.4%. The key
of
point
the budget.
is Congress.
I mean, you know that, don't you? You know that
But
the
that's
USAID
built-
budget is tiny amount of money.
But if
if
it's
you're
a
going
wasteful,
to balance
and
the
if it's
budget, you need to
wasteful-
attack things like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, right? To have a real impact on America's spending, it's not
If
going to
it-
be on the USAID.
I'm a businessman. If it's more than a ham sandwich, we're going to look at it. And so
Looking at it is great.
When
I'm
you think
talking-
about billions of dollars, I think most Oklahomans are like, yeah, that's wasteful. Let's spend it on U.S. citizens. Let's spend it on
But is it
infrastructure
wasteful?
here.
Do you know?
Well, if we're borrowing money to spend it in Burma and around the world on certain initiatives, isn't that the president's job? Doesn't he get the right
To look at it.
but also to say,
let
hey,
Congress make decisions.
but he's also the executive branch, and we elect a president.
Now listen to this last part right here. This is the key part. You can, of course, you're going to get Mika and all the other liberals to fight against this because it's common sense again. So they're going to most definitely fight against it. But listen to this last part, and this is exactly what I was saying when all of this first started coming to the surface. When all of it started to come to the light of day, I said President Trump is the executive. He is the executive branch, and it is his duty when they see fraudulent stuff going out, it is his duty to stop it. Listen to this part, everybody. This is the key point.
Make decisions.
But he's also the executive.
Oh, here we go.
But he's also the executive branch, and we elect a president. And if the president, if you can't be the executive of the executive branch, what type of government do we have, right?
Exactly. If you can't be the president of the United States of America, which the people elected, then what kind of country do we have? See, the Democrats, this is the reason why they were sending money out, because they don't care. President Trump does executive order, and what do? Oh, President Trump sends out executive order. We're going to defy it because we don't listen to President Trump. See, that's how USAID got caught. That's how they got caught, because they weren't even, to my understanding, allegedly, that they weren't even on the radar until they started sending money out. And then bam, they got caught. Same thing, FEMA. Look what FEMA did. It was $89 million to hotels in New York. Oh, okay. And then they saw that someone hit enter, the money was going out. And then they said, oh, wait a minute. Nope, bring it back. And now the demon crashed. Oh, no, that's a constitutional crisis. You can't stop the money from going out. That's wasteful money. And I said, yes, we can. And we did. And there's nothing you can do about it because we're the executive branch. It's wasteful spending. It is our jobs to make sure that this doesn't happen. Someone just hit enter on $89 million. $89 million. Hey, let me tell you about this one too. Do you enjoy free speech that Rumble is protecting and fighting for? Our show on Rumble is possible thanks to viewers like you supporting the Rumble platform by purchasing Rumble products. Most of you drink coffee every day. That's why I want you to have to try. That's why you have to try the Rumble 1775 coffee. It's actually some of the best coffee, and it's the same price of coffee you already buy now. But it's way better. Rumble 1775 coffee is free from chemicals, yet rich in flavor. It's because their beans are sourced at high altitudes in Bolivia, hand-picked, roasted weekly at their facilities in Miami, and delivered fresh to your doorsteps. As a believer in freedom, buying from Rumble helps fight back against the woke corporations like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. Join the coffee revolution and brew rebellion with Rumble 1775 coffee. Go to 1775coffee.com, use code STUDIO, and get a free monthly supply of their cognitive boosting supplement, Limitless, when you buy 2 bags of their coffee. Think about that. It's a crazy deal, and the supplements are way worth more than the 2 bags of coffee. Go to 1775coffee.com today and try their amazing coffee. That is 1775coffee.com. All right, everybody, that is it for me. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining in. If you haven't already, I didn't ask a single time during the show today for anyone to hit the thumbs up. I'm going to ask you if you would bless me right now by hitting the thumbs up. It would really mean a lot. You hit the thumbs up, it doesn't show who's doing it, except for on Facebook. And I know, except for Facebook, but YouTube, I don't know who's hitting the thumbs up. Same thing with on Rumble. I have no idea. And on Peeled, it doesn't show me who hit the Peeled on there as well.
But we did get a contribution from
and
Filter
I did
Dog.
see Filter Dog on Peeled. Filter Dog on Peeled.net. And y'all need to go check out Peeled.net too. Y'all need to go check it out. Peeled.net. /Will Johnson. You'll see it. Connect with me. All right, everybody. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there. God bless you all. Take care.